off. Today is day 243 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on here at Code Wars. We started chipping away at the free code camp weather project. That was basically a culmination of everything awful in our life. We just weren't quite prepped for taking on that particular project / fiasco. So we're back here at Code Wars for the end of 8 months. Day 243 marks the end of 8 months of the year of streaming and learning to code. So we get to somewhat celebrate by returning to Code Wars and tackling a CODA of sorts. I don't know if we've been making pretty good progress. We did skip a couple CODAs through level 6, and we had been working our way back up through those skipped ones. But we'll see if we decide to go with one of the ones we skipped to cover our tracks, or if we find a fresh new one to tackle. Alright, so we've got most completed, level 6, fundamentals. She's loading. There we go. Alright, so we have 1, 2, and we filled in with finishing the other couple that we did skip on the way down. Where do we stand percentage-wise through level 6 as well? Right now, we are currently 66% of the way through level 6. So we will... Let's look at potentially a new one. Let's look at this. Counting duplicates and equal sides of an array. I'm sure one of those will be interesting and a good one to celebrate 8 months down. Alright, counting duplicates. Counting the number of duplicates, write a function that will return the count of distinct case-insensitive alphabetic characters and numeric digits that occur more than once in the input string. The input string can be assumed to contain only alphabets, both uppercase and lowercase, and numeric digits. Example, A, B, C, D, 0. No characters repeats more than once. This is very similar to... what was it? It was the duplicate. It was the other duplicate case. CODA. AA, BB, C, D, E, A and B, AA, B, C, D, E. You know what? I even think this exact one was used as an example in the other CODA. Indivisibility. I occurs 6 times. Even both of those. This all seems oddly familiar. Why does it seem familiar? Maybe we just looked at it like this. Maybe we just read the description and moved on. Wow, this is a novel. Okay, brace yourselves. Equal sides of an array. You're going to be given an array of integers. Your job is to take that array and find an index n where the sum of the integers to the left of n is equal to the sum of the integers to the right of n. We're doomed. Death. If there's no index that would make this happen, return a -1. Let's say you're given an array 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your function would return the index 3 because at the third position of the array, the sum of the left side of the index, 4, 2, 3, and the sum of the right side of the index, 3, 2, 1, both equal 6. Let's look at another array. You're given 1, 150, negative 51, 1, and 1. Your function will return the index 1 because the first position of the array, the sum of the left sides, index 1, okay, the sum of the right side is so forth and such. So that's 1, and then we'd have 50, negative 51, so we're at negative 1, plus 1 brings us to 0, plus 1 brings us back to 1, okay. So, last one, you're given an array, blankety blankety blank, yes, fascinating. At the index 0, to the left side is nothing, to the right side is 10, negative 80, blankety blankety blank. They're both equal to 0 when added. Empty arrays are equal to 0 in this 0 something 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 index. Yes, good. No, please remember that in most programming scripting languages, the index of an array starts at 0. An integer of 0, array 100, the numbers. Good. Output. Lowest end. Alright, that seems somewhat hellish, to be completely honest. Between these two potential CODEWARS, both of which could make me cry, we're going to get rid of this one, and this seems far closer to our ability level. Let's commence. Begin training. We need to find something. We could obviously start from scratch, but I really do want to compare it to the other duplicate CADA that we had just done a couple days ago, because it seems freakishly similar. Solutions. I wonder if the duplicate one was the one where I did the unnecessary switch case. That may have been it. Dee ba dee do do ba do dee ba dee ba do. Wow, was it really the last one we did? Just a day or two ago? Function. Duplicate encoder. Word. Variable string array. Word dot to lowercase dot split. Variable string. For variable I less than string array dot length. Variable count. String array dot filter. Function characters. Return character if it's equal to string array I dot length. So we got a length from that. If the count is greater than 1, this count, because it's returning the character count. So it will return those characters, but then it's counting the number of those characters. If the count was greater than 1, return the closing parentheses. If it was equal to 1, it was an opening, and then we were returning string in general. All right, so we could probably use the first portion. I don't believe we'll need we could use the length portion. Actually, a lot of this really could be used, because that's basically checking if stuff is a duplicate or not. But what did they want in return? Because on this one, we were returning the closing parentheses and the opening parentheses in its place. See, look at this. We get to relive the nightmare. Ta-da! See, unique letters, all opening. Unique letter R is an opening. However, E is a repeat or duplicate letter, and each E is a closing parenthesis. Same goes here with success and even the characters themselves. So, we are gauging each character, and we're returning a string accordingly for each character. We don't necessarily need to return the character count, because in this CADA, once more from the top, count the number of duplicates. Write a function that will return the count of distinct case-insensitive alphabetic characters and numeric digits that occur more than once in the input string. So we are hunting for duplicates. So if we find a duplicate, a distinct duplicate, then we will return that. Like A and B were repeats, so that's 2 specific characters. All right. I think we can do that. We really could just use a lot of our last solution as our core foundation for this new one, and I think that should work as a pretty good starting point. What were we looking at? Occurs more than once. The input string can be assumed to contain only alphabets, both uppercase and lowercase, and numeric digits. Example, A, B, C, D, E, 0 repeat characters, A, A, B, B, C, D, E, A, and B, A, A, B, B, despite the case difference, still 2. Yeah, we can even keep the 2 lowercase, right? Where'd it go? Here. Yeah, the 2 lowercase even, and the split. We'll just do exactly that. Indivisibility. 1. Even though I occurs 6 times, I is the only repeat character. So it just returns one unique or distinct character. Good times, I and S, A1, and A and B. Go time from the top. Let's do this. Now, let's go with D-D-D, la-da-da-dee-dee-dee-dee. Do we want to call it text array? Probably text array. That seems like a suiting name for our current predicament. Text dot 2 lowercase. Dot split on each character. Yes, yes. Dance, puppet, dance. From here, we will have a variable ready and waiting to receive. We can call it distinct. Whoa. Distinct. Right? I'm not crazy, am I? No, I'm not crazy. Okay, cool. Just checking. Variable distinct, we can do an empty string for now. And we will update that in the future. We can set up our for loop for variable I equals 0, I less than text array dot length I plus plus, not a semicolon there, but curly braces, something to go in front of the semicolon. They're probably an if statement, I believe. If so forth and such occur with a curly brace, we want something to happen. Furthermore, after the for loop, we will be returning... not returning. Thinking out loud. Returning... distinct. We still have... Yes, good. Alright. Probably distinct dot length, but we'll deal with that in the near future. Why is that not changing font color? My spidey senses are telling me everything is bleak and we're doomed for the following reasons. Well... Super death. I'm trying to figure out if we actually need an else. You see, the difference between this CADA and the last one was that we needed to return those... we were returning two different things, even though they were... Where'd it go? The plus equals stacking on top of each other as we reproduce the string with the different characters. This one, it's one thing that we're returning. A single data type. So I think all we need is just the if statement. And not if, it was filter. Filter, that's right. We can even use count again. I mean, really, this is borderline. We could use the same damn thing, practically. In fact, I think we'll do count, and we'll probably do filter. We can do characters again, or value, val, whatever we're in the mood for. Well, we definitely don't need that if we are doing variable. Well, could we have done it with an if statement? I'd prefer to do it with, what's it called? First of all, what is this? There's a stray 0 just mocking us, or a stray lowercase o, masquerading as a 0 in front of us. That was my bad. What did we want to do? We wanted to go through... We wanted to take our string, lowercase everything, split it, shred it into an array with each one as its own individual index. We want to loop through that, and when we are dealing with that, we want to compare that letter to the rest of itself. And anything that shows up or is a duplicate, each one of those gets stored. So what did we do last time? Variable count. We did string array, filter, function characters, if character is equal to string array I. Dot length. You know, we'll do count, filter, and character. Variable count again, because, well, it's good for visualizing. Variable count text array dot filter function character. We'll do singular because we're comparing one character at a time. Actually, text array, filter. Yeah, no, it loops through each one at a time. I'm second guessing myself for a moment. Although we've basically been second guessing ourselves for the last 8 months straight. What do we want to do? We want to make that return blank dot length. Trying to figure out if we want the dot length. I kind of feel like we do. We'll see what we get. We will see what we get. Return characters I. Equals text array I blankety blank. We can add the dot length in a moment. However, in the meantime, let's do count. Let's see what we get. Let's test currently count what is returned. So expected 0 got undefined. Instead, 0 E 2 E expected 2 E. Yes, beautiful. 1 instead of Y. Expected 2 instead got SS. Fascinating. Let's do dot length. Getting closer. However, from there, we will want to set up our if. Do we want to do an if statement? Yeah. Why not? It's just the only difference is that we really don't need the else portion, you know? Just kind of building on itself. However, string equals, if it equals that, I guess we can, what do we want to do? So the difference is that's looking for each individual duplicate. So this won't work as seamlessly as I thought. I mean, we're on the right track. This is still tons of fun. However, have this, have that. We're looping through. Count will equal string array dot filter characters. If each character in string array matches the current character in string array I, we want the length of it. I don't know if that's necessarily right. For our current CADA. I know we got the 2 here. Should ignore case. Expected 2. Instead got 1. Text array 2 lowercase. Here should ignore a case. It does, or it's supposed to. Get rid of that. Run test. Get rid of the if that we will be implementing shortly. Dot length. That's what I was thinking of doing earlier. Will we need distinct? Yeah, good. Let me do... I actually want to do... What is it? Distinct... What if instead of returning, we did distinct... I think I got carried away referencing my previous solution, fixating on just the simple fact that it was looking for duplicate stuff, not really focusing on the exact task at hand. To better focus on the fact that we need to only capture duplicates, and then from here that would be returning distinct. Run issues. Expected is 0, instead got emptiness. Huh. Distinct dot length. Distinct push is not a function at array. Oh, right. I totally forgot because that's a string right now, not an array. My bad. Run test. There we go. Yeah, lots of frustration. That's hot. Dear God. Definitely headed down the wrong path now. Good. It was going, I was thinking to myself, usually we run into more hilarious issues on our travels. This feels right, though. This feels broken. Ta-da! Beep-a-dee-dee-dee-dee. Now, what the deuce is exactly happening? Because clearly I broke something. We're on the hunt for duplicates. Let me actually do that. If count is greater than 1, We can just push or return the character. Right? No, we want to return the distinct characters. Don't mind me. Dot length distinct if count is greater than 1. We could do we can set it back to the string, but really we want to do we want to have it be distinct plus equals, I think, text array I. It's just, it's no longer in the for loop anymore. And we could put the if statement in there. Although the filter kind of is already doing the ifing for us. So count is taking the text array, filtering through it, taking each character, super death. Return plus equals what now? What do we want it to be? We want it to be text array I length. This will need to be inside count. No? Maybe it doesn't need to be inside count. I really thought it did, but perhaps not. Empty string, emptiness, got 2. Undefined. We are breaking things. That's what the other one contained. But we don't want that. We want an entirely new beast altogether. Super death. Playing with digits. Is that comparing if it was the same? I feel like the last couple katas we did were all sort of dealing with duplicates. That's okay. That is okay. Let's get rid of that just momentarily. All right. As of now, let's do count. What's return? 1 of 1, 2 of 2. If we aren't returning the length of it, here, run, blah, 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 blah. If we do dot length here, cannot read dot length of undefined at duplicate count. Interesting. Okay. It's our filter statement. That is the crux of the issue. We need something. We have our text array. Ta-da. A, B, B, C, D. We're making it lowercase, and we're splitting it. We've got individual index values. From there, we're prepping to figure out how many distinct characters there are. Whether this is an array or a string, we'll figure that out in a bit. We've got our for loop. For variable I equals 0. I is less than text array dot length. I plus plus. It'll iterate by 1. Cool. So from here, though, variable count. Do we want to use the same thing as last time or similar? I think the variable count or the filter function is fine. I believe it's this issue here. If character equals what? What do we want it to do? If character equals... Maybe it's not the return. Can I do an if statement inside the method? I think I can. If character equals text array I. Now that's going to go with each one, won't it? If character equals text array I. I think this is duplicate nonsense that isn't going to help anyone. Count. Because the filter is already looking for that. The if is unnecessary. I'm just trying to think out loud, though. Character equals text I, blankety blankety blank, something something something. Why after 8 months are we still struggling with basic things? I want to distinct. Oh, that's not going to help anybody. I don't even think we need the variable count. I think we can just have text array filter and just go on our way. Let's do that. Okay. A, B, C, D. Okay, so it is returning. It is like really duplicate-y. Wait a second. Wait a second. It's the length one, two, three, 4, 5, 6. No. Damn. Hey, I just know, Dreadsteed. How you doing? It's been a while. Oh, super death. We're so kind of close and not close at the same time. It's just, I'm chasing my tail. If count is greater than 1, maybe that's what we want. Maybe we want to return that, and inside copy so before, instead of making this the if statement, what if we just still return character equal to blank, get rid of this, and have distinct equal maybe it's just return count. Now, if the character length super death, this was dot length, so technically that should go below. So that's our for loop. That's our variable for count. Return the character if it's equal to length or we're returning the length of count if this is the case. And if count is greater than 1, then we want to push count to distinct. Push. That seems really redundant, and I'm pretty sure I could just return count in general. But this is hell, and I'm desperate. Yep, we pissed him off. Spectacular. Count something. Distinct plus equals count. That also seems weird, but slightly better. Aha! Look at that. Look at this. So, hold on. This is okay. This is better. We are heading in the right direction. See, this is supposed to be 0, and it is. And it pulled the 2, which is important. It's just we've got a ton of 2s staring back at us. But we at least have the 2. What if we do just equals instead of plus equals? Okay, we're getting closer. The difference, though, is that with plus equals, was... damn, 2, so 6. See, there's 2 distinct characters here, 7 and 2. And even though there's 6 of these, there's only 1. There's just the teensiest bit of logic that's off. I'm trying to figure out where the f it is. That's okay. This is good. We're getting close. I'm just trying to figure out what's going to be better to tweak. The count portion of the for loop or the if statement within our for loop. I believe both need to be changed, but I'm pretty sure I could end up just altering one slightly to kind of get a janky passable solution. I think it'd be easier to change the if than trying to come to terms with this. It's just, this seems fine in my mind. It's, and this is the part that's causing the duplication of all the characters. This never-ending 22222666666. Because you're getting, when character equals that, it'll return it. It's just, the problem is that we only need that to happen one time. Maybe changing the count. Maybe if we do... Let's just see what happens when we change this to 2. See? Look at that. Things die and go away. So if count is something... Oh, Dreadsteed. So before you said you were pretty close with your previous solution, okay, but if distinct is empty, return 0. Oh, change it to 1. Return the length. Hold on. So, if distinct... Oh god. Looping in on itself. Copy. If distinct is 0... then return wait, change it to 1, return the length. I'm sorry, which bit's getting what now? Return the length of count? Hold on, crazy person's choice. We're getting closer. Dot length. Ah, Dreadsteed. Okay, I totally misinterpreted what you were saying. My bad. Remember, the most flawed thing in my code is me. Alright. Dreadsteed, that may work. No, don't worry about, yeah, the formatting's all screwed up. That's cool. I can still piece that together. If count, so let's backtrack. If count is greater than 1, distinct plus equals count, return distinct dot length. Oh, I was just forgetting the dot length portion down here. Was that the issue? That would make sense. Well, that's promising. That's still two out of the stuff. We are getting there. And before, so the other thing is I feel like it's ridiculous, but hear me out. See, when we run this and we get all of that, all the twos and the 6s and whatnot, and then the 7 and the 2s. So also, yeah, all this stuff. Good times, right? AA, BB, we're just looking for those distinct things, distinct values that repeat. We are hoping to... We're totally lost. What if I run another for loop inside the if statement yet again to further whittle down the results? That seems super messy and awful. Because this time it would be copy. No, that's crazy talk. That's dumb and that's weird and no. Just no. It wouldn't go inside. It would go below. But instead of 4 here, it would be distinct. Crazy, right? Oh, and it would be distinct array. Variable. Distinct array. Yeah. We're gonna have lots of confusion. This is definitely wrong. Distinct array would be distinct dot split. Copy text array, text array, text array, and then we could even do this again. And it'd be return distinct. This is bad. This is all bad. Damn. Same thing. Same thing. No. Distinct array. Count 2. Count 2 plus equals distinct. Damn. I'm guessing. I'm lost and confused and don't know what to do anymore. We may have to look elsewhere. No. All right. Phone issues. Back into action. Back into action. I may need to stop probably soon. Let's hunt elsewhere. Write a function that will return the count of a distinct case insensitive character alphanumeric that occurs the input string. Let's try that. Let's hunt with this and see what we end up with. Because it's been an hour. So clearly we'll need to figure out what to do. They are using if else. They're using else if. I was wondering about that. They aren't even using. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. So function duplicate count text array is an empty duplicate array, also an empty parameter. Fascinating. Text array, variable t, text I, 2 lowercase. If array index of t is greater than 0, push it to t. Else, if duplicate array index of t is less than 0, push it to dupe. Return duplicate array length. That is a clever fix, and I do like that. That's very straightforward. Temp upper, count, results, I and I, append, decimal I. Let me check and see just a moment. Hold on. I'll need to wrap up. Think amongst yourselves. All right, crisis averted. Let's go ahead and land this plane. So I like the 2 empty arrays. That is very clever. I, however, like lowering everything beforehand. See, ours, we've got our text to lowercase and split. Everything's happening outside the for loop. It's possible that we could do it inside. It's just, I don't know, it seems cleaner, easier. I think it simplifies the for loop a bit. So inside the for loop, if the index of is 0, push to that. Else if duplicate array, index of text, duplicate array, push text. Oh, push text instead of pushing string array I, because yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Okay. Well, that's a very straightforward. I feel like everyone is, yeah, we're not doing let and includes and all that nonsense. And this is a whole song and dance. So we can get rid of those two. I think this last one is definitely the most straightforward of the couple we've seen. So we have our if. So we can get rid of this. And we can actually do distinct as an empty array. And then we can actually do distinct 2 for our duplicates, right? So here we've got our text array going into lowercase, splitting that up. So from here with our for loop, we're just going to do text array, and we don't really need it to equal count or anything special. All we need really is our if. And we no longer need count greater than blah. What we will use is array.index. So that would be distinct indexed of text array I. Distinct index of text array I was it greater than or less than? I feel like it was less than. If it's greater than 0, if it's less than 0. Got the memory of a goldfish. Less than 0. Push, distinct push, I. Greater than 0. Distinct push, I. Greater. Well, no, less than. Less than 0. Distinct push, I. Dot push. And text array I. Way cool. Then down here we have our else if. With its curly braces and its semicolon. And this would be copy distinct 2 dot push text array I. And that's also if it's less than 0. And what am I looking for? Distinct. It was index of. That's right, index of. We could have just looked above that, and then we'll do the length of distinct 2. Distinct 2 something something dot index of. Hey, Mr. Demon Wolf, hosting us. Thank you very much. We are nearing the end as we fill out the solution. It's been an hour of struggling, but we got close. We did come close. Text array I. Okay, there's that. Distinct 2 index of text array I greater than 0, distinct 2 push text array, and then we will simply just return distinct 2 dot length because we can run it. Ta-da! Beep-de-de-dee-dee-dee. But to see behind the curtain what is actually being pushed to distinct 2 is, boom, look at that. Empty arrays. A and B are the 2 uniques. Ignoring the case, returning 2, A and B. I is our repeat character, and the 2 repeat unique distinct characters are I and S. So, back to dot length. Look at that. Beautiful solution. Running our sample. Ta-da! Be-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. And we will attempt that. Green check marks across the board. Very cool. Let's go ahead and submit our final answer. Check out what the cool kids had to submit for their answers, and then we will close out of this. Day 243 will come to an end. Wow. So text, return text, 2 lowercase split, dot sort, dot join, match, of course, regular expressions, typical, or empty array dot length. Kind of cool. Text, 2 lowercase split, function, value, index, array, index of value does not equal 1, and array dot last index of value equals I dot length. This is closer to what we did, but overall, I'm liking our solution. It was a good fit. All right, let's back out of this noise into our profile. Hopefully, loading. You're now 71% of the way through level 6 here at CODEWARS. And we are currently 37,731 as we climb to the top. Let's close out of all this noise. Once again, day 243 comes to an end. Thank you again to anyone and everyone who stopped by to view the stream. Today we had Dreadsteed. Mr. Demon Wolf was also kind enough to host us as well. And in the meantime, we are jumping out of CODEWARS over to OBS, stopping the stream. The adventure continues tomorrow with day 244 of the year of streaming and learning to code. Are you sure you want to stop the stream?